All right, everybody, let's get started. So we are going to work on calculations from Chapter 6 today in class. Our very favorite thing, right? So the Chapter 6 Mastering Chemistry will be due this Friday night. Everybody did Experiment 10 this week in lab. That is a group report. So have that submitted to the Dropbox by next week, Monday for the Monday lab, Wednesday for the Wednesday lab. Okay. After today's stuff, you'll be able to finish the rest of the calculations in that. Okay. Lab project research proposals. Those of you in the Wednesday lab, you decided a topic today. Those of you in the Monday lab, you're just going to be spending the lab on Monday researching a topic and also working on your research proposal. So for both sections, the research proposals will be due on Wednesday next week. Okay. Our exam 2 is on Monday. Chapters 4 through 6 mainly, but also percent composition and combustion from Chapter 3. That was one day that we covered after the exam. That was Chapter 3 materials. If you have not yet, print out that study guide or download or whatever, view that study guide that's in the content area. That'll give you the specific sections from the textbook that we're covering as well as the particular topics that you need to go through. For practice, go back into the Mastering Chemistry assignments. That's one thing. You can always rework that's especially useful because if you're anything like a normal student, when you're doing Mastering Chemistry, you're looking in your notes and in your book and you're figuring out how to do it kind of as you go. If you go back into Mastering Chemistry, treat that as more like a test. See if you can do those same problems without the notes or without the textbook. See if you know what to do. There are several kind of big major problem types where you have a sequence of things that you kind of have to do. So use those Mastering Chemistry assignments, maybe go back in and see if you really do know how to do that kind of thing. And if you don't, go back in, maybe make up a little crib sheet for yourself for how to do certain types of problems, right? Especially those combustion things, right? Because you got to get everything into moles, then you got to get everything into grams, and you got to subtract from the total, and then back into moles and make the formula from that. So if you kind of switch some steps around, you're going to run into a dead end when you're when you're doing the calculations. So I think that's a real effective way to be studying. So use those Mastering Chemistry. Go through the assigned problems at the end of chapter for extra practice. And then don't neglect the conceptual stuff. Remember I told you I have multiple choice questions pretty much ready to go for a lot of these conceptual type questions that'll really tell whether you understand, especially in the gas chapter, how those explanations of those gas laws work. In the reactions chapter, things like oxidation number and, understanding what an oxidation and a reduction is, just conceptual things like that maybe aren't calculations, but will certainly show up as multiple choice questions that you really need to understand. So go through that study guide. That'll be I know a lot of students that just sort of check stuff off on that study guide as they've gone through and practiced it. So that's a great way to be extra prepared for our exam, okay? So anybody have any questions?